Hi everyone, this is Barb from Comfort and Crafts. We're going to get a little dirty today and we're going to learn how to take a board and paint it and turn it into a welcome sign for your front entryway. It's easy with vinyl and a cutting machine. Join me now, we're going to learn how.
Prep your board by sanding it smooth, then dust with a clean cotton rag. I am using Fusion Mineral Paint. This is a top-notch chalk paint that goes on smoothly with one coat. You can read more about this paint in my blog post. Start painting the edges of your board, then lay it on wood strips to keep it off the surface of your table. Using a quality paintbrush or foam roller, paint one side of the board. Keep your strokes going with the grain and check for drips along the sides. Let it dry. Once the board is prepared, it is time for the design. We will be cutting two designs, one for each side. You can download these free at the bottom of my post. Download the SVG into your cutting software. Resize it to fit your board, then send it to cut. Make sure you are using a good quality permanent vinyl. I am typically using Oracle 651 or StarCraft HD. I am super frugal with my materials, so I cut the pieces I need for each mat. I position the vinyl on the cutting mat as I see it in the software. Next, send your pieces to cut on your machine. Then very carefully peel the vinyl off by placing your mat face down and rolling it off the vinyl carefully. You will repeat this process for each different color of vinyl you will be using on your design. Weed each piece of vinyl, then prepare it with transfer tape. Being the frugal person that I am, I cut a piece of transfer tape to fit each letter or shape. I even reuse pieces until the stick is gone. When making a vertical sign, you place each letter separately, so it is easy to roll transfer tape onto each piece. I fold back the tape, place it over the vinyl, and smooth it out with my hand or a squeegee. Once your transfer tape is in place, smooth it out with your hand and then gently rub it with a squeegee. Pull back your transfer tape very carefully, making sure your vinyl comes with it. Repeat this process for each letter and each graphic that you will apply to your board. Next, I lay out all the pieces on the board, sticky side up. My first step is eyeballing the spacing. Then I determine the exact measurement. On this design, we are using a pumpkin, so don't forget to leave a little space for that stem. Once I have eyeballed the spacing, I measure the space in between the letters to determine the exact number. Once you have determined your measurement, place the first letter at the top of the board. Stick it down, making sure it is in the right position and it is straight and square, then rub vigorously with your squeegee. Once you have rubbed over the entire letter, starting at the corner of your transfer tape, gently peel it back at a diagonal, making sure your vinyl is sticking firmly to your board. I am measuring 2.5 inches between each letter and marking the center lightly with a pencil. Fold your letter in half, sticky side out, and make a crease to mark the middle for placement. It is important to rub down every part of the vinyl to ensure that it adheres permanently. Repeat this process for each piece down the length of your board. You will notice that after I measure each piece, I dust it off slightly with my hand to make sure there are no hairs or dust balls hanging around on my board. I like to eyeball my pieces in place, but if it makes you feel better, use your measuring tool to center and align each piece. Don't forget, once you get to your pumpkin, you'll need to leave some space for the stem. Place the body of the pumpkin on the board first, then add your stem. The last step is to burnish each letter with a tennis ball. Yes, I said a tennis ball. Rubbing with a lot of pressure will activate the adhesive. These permanent vinyls are guaranteed for 5 to 6 years, and I've seen them last even longer as long as you give them a good rub. And there you have it. One side of your board is complete. But because the board has 2 sides, I really like to make them reversible. Follow all the same steps to complete side 2. I will be using a white vinyl on black chalk paint. Cut out the letters and apply like you did before. Place, arrange, measure, and adhere. You will notice on this side, since it only says "Oh, hello," your letters will be spaced out a little further than before. Make sure to lay them out, eyeball it, measure your distance in between each piece, and start sticking them down. It is not necessary to seal permanent vinyl, but because this sign will be outside in weather, I am going to give it a coat of outdoor Mod Podge. Since Mod Podge is so thick, I like to dilute it slightly to make it easier to spread. Use a 2 to 3 inch paintbrush, keeping your strokes straight and even. Brush it on the edges and flat surfaces, letting it dry completely before flipping it over and doing the same thing on the other side. Once your sign is completely dry, display it on your front porch for all to see. Thanks for visiting me at Comfort and Crafts.